Love is doing anything you can for someone else to make them happy, and
yeah, just unconditional like caring and happiness with someone.
I guess like a connection between two people that's like, I guess, not broken easily through thick and thin, that kind of stuff, I guess, to put it easy.
Love is when you can't breathe without somebody. You love them so much you can't think about them ever leaving you, or if something happens to them, you feel like your whole entire world would just collapse.
What is love? Love is just like caring for people as much as you care about yourself. Just doing things for other people to make sure that they're okay, they're happy. Love is just what you do for others. It's not what you can do for yourself, because everybody's initially selfish.
That's a good one. I actually didn't necessarily believe in love until recently. I think love is just compassion for anything or anybody. I don't think it needs to be, I think love, there's a connotation where you have to love somebody, or there has to be a being behind it, but I think love is just having compassionate energy towards something, whether it's yourself, an object, a hobby, or it could be another person.
Baby, don't hurt me. How many times have you gotten that today? And see, the funny thing is, I don't think it's unusual that the answer doesn't come immediately, especially for me, since I've been in a relationship for almost 3 years now, which you might think like that might instantly like, oh, this is that, but I think ultimately it's wanting to share your life with one or more, no judgment, people. I think that's the healthiest way to go about it. Just wanting to express that who you are and what you do and what you like, you'd want, and even what you don't like and everything, pros and cons, you'd want to share all of that and have it just be another Tuesday.
Love is the total self, like the giving of oneself to another, even when they don't deserve it, as shown to us by God, and Him sending His Son for us. It feels challenging. I think of when I'm parenting my children and they are like fussing or crying, and I'm like holding them and rocking them, and it's like it takes a lot, and doesn't always come naturally. But then it's like the more you do it, the easier it becomes, and you see the fruit. There's like beauty. There's beauty and there's growth in that like giving of yourself for the benefit of another person.
I don't know. I don't think it has to be like, it can be a passion. It could be a relationship. I don't think it's like defined by one thing. I think I find love in what I'm studying, with my friends. Yeah. No.
I think it's different for everybody, but I think for me it's just a sense of comfortability, and that it's just nice being able to be around someone that you feel you can be completely yourself.
I think love is caring more about someone else than yourself, and that you can really only recognize it through loss sometimes, but you realize that you lived it in the small moments you share with those people. I had very close family die of cancer. It was very rough, but it made me realize how much they had given me throughout my life.
Baby, don't hurt me no more. Mathematically, love is familiarity over time, but as to what like it actually is a concept, as a true thing, I don't know. It's one of those things I don't feel like you can put into words. It's when you know truly that no matter what, somebody will still be there for you, and that they will follow through on any promises they give, and that they'll help you out just because they can and because you're you. I've sometimes gone through, I won't get into details, but really hard shit, and it's really, special to know that there are a few people who are willing to take time out of their day, even in the middle of them being busy and doing other stuff, just to talk to you and just to see how you're doing.
I think it's when, you and someone else, I mean, obviously multiple people, like family and stuff, you have this like unconditional connection where you care for each other. I think that's pretty much it.
I don't know. Love is being there for someone, even like when you don't know what you're doing, just kind of showing up whenever you can.
I wouldn't know. At all. I wouldn't know. Familial love and friendship love, but never like a romantic partner. That I loved, you know.
It's tough to say. I guess just like a feeling.
Feeling like home. I don't have to explain it properly, but like people who make you feel comfortable and warm. You know, the feeling you get when you're home.
I feel like there's multiple types of love. Friendship love, like parental love, and then like overwhelming love. I feel like love is just like a way to show someone that you really care about them. It's like doing something for someone and expecting nothing in return.
Oh man, I feel like it's putting yourself second. Like you put someone else before yourself, like their needs and their wants and desires. Like your own kind of take a back seat because you're like, I just want you to be happy. Like, and like not always, but you know, it's compromise, I think. It feels amazing. I'm selfish, so if I'm like putting somebody else before me, it's like, that's a big deal.
I think love is when you go to sleep over at someone's house and then you never leave. And everybody is really happy with that. And you just kind of light up the other person and they light you up too. I thought you had a really good answer, but yeah. Put someone else first.
Yeah, I think it's, not having to talk about things sometimes because you go to say it and the other one has just finished saying it, or you go to pick something up to do something and she's already walking over to do it because you're just constantly in each other's minds operating as one. She's my best friend, right? What more could you ask for? We grew up together, right? Over the course of like 12 years, you kind of eventually end up knowing everything about that person. If you don't know all of their idiosyncrasies yet and can't know, haven't determined like, yeah, I love all those idiosyncrasies. I want to keep living with them for the rest of my life, then like, when are you going to know a person if not after that, right? How else are you going to know that it's the right place for you?
Oof, baby, don't hurt me. I don't know. A hard question. Are they all so hard?
Liking each other. Caring about each other. I think caring about each other is love.
I think it's connected like very much to the feeling of love, what you say. So yeah.
Yeah, I love people, like, because I really care about them and I think about them and I find them important in my life. So that, I guess. Yeah,
something like that. Yeah, I would say that.
You like love somebody unconditionally for no matter what they do to you. Kind of like family. It's when you know you can fuck up really bad and that person's still gonna be there for you.
Baby, don't hurt me.
I knew she was going right for a lyric. Chemical attraction between appropriate pheromones of two like species. I'm a scientist, sorry man, that's what you're gonna get.
What is love? I think love is between between two people who care about each other enough to sacrifice for each other and just overall make them a better person. And yeah, it's just a really good feeling having someone there all the time, knowing that if anything happens, that person's always there for no matter what it is.
I think it's caring for someone's needs almost as much as you care about your own needs. It's like making sure that their dinner is made and that they have a clean house and that they felt loved in the way they feel love. So whether it's giving them gifts or making sure that you hold their hand when you walk out of the door or you kiss them before you leave or you send them a note saying, hey, I love you. And that's how it's giving them love how they receive love. I think it feels just as good as receiving it, in my opinion. I think making my husband feel loved makes me feel loved.
I don't think I could tell you that. I mean, biggest sign of love for me that I would think is probably just like unconditional. Like no matter what happens, no matter how you feel towards that person, it's like they're still a part of your life. Things can happen, but if you can get over those things, it's like you see through them.
Also, it's like even if it's a person or whatever it is you love, it's like something that even when you don't like it, you still keep coming back.
Yeah.
There's like some unspoken like attraction.
You got some good ass questions, man. I'm not gonna lie. These are some really good questions. I think that everyone has their own unique idea of love. I think it took me a long time really to feel like true love and true gratitude and true acceptance. Like maybe when I was younger, like those were just words, you know, and they meant, you know, I knew like the definition of those words, but I feel like certain experiences in your life will kind of, you're like, oh wow, like that's like you feel like true gratitude for something for the first time, or you feel true love for something for the first time. And like I had, you know, like a high school sweetheart, and that's a type of love for me. But then I have, you know, love for family, and that's a different, that's a very broad spectrum. I think love, it doesn't have to be unconditional, but I think it is kind of unconditional, like it is for me at least, you know, like a non-judging, almost like, okay, if you go out into the woods or whatever and you look at a tree, like a certain type of tree, you're like, oh, that's a beautiful tree, you know, you're not like judging different things about the tree, right? And you look at a different type of tree, like, oh, and then you come here into the city and then like you look at people, you're like, oh, if only she did that, or if only he was like this, you know, then you're like judging all, you know. So it's, for me, it's like almost the same as if I would look at a tree or any kind of other thing in nature. It's like just an unconditional love. You know, it's a very deep question, but
Love is when what the other person wants is as important as what you want. Not more important. You shouldn't lessen yourself, and neither should theirs be less than yours. When the consideration for another is equal to the consideration for yourself, that's what I consider true love.
Oh, man, what is love? There's no greater love than a friend laying his life down for a friend. The definition of love, it varies from person to person. I guess the universal definition of it is that it's patient. It's not biased, it doesn't hurt, it's trustworthy, it's humble. To me, individually, the greatest love to me, I don't think you could surpass a love between a father and his son. When you see that, you know, and you're into that, it's like the outside world around you doesn't exist. It's just you and your son.
Love is not thinking about yourself, but making that other person or that like living thing just happy. That's what love is to me.
When you unconditionally care about somebody or something, you want to be with them. You have the emotional connection, the feelings there. You can love your child. You know, you can love a family member. I think it's like one of the best feelings you can have. I don't know. I'm trying to think of the words to describe what I'm thinking, but I think it's a really great emotion. It's awesome, you know. And if you're a Christian, God's love is great too. You know, love can be many things for different people, but that's kind of what it is for me. It's just a great emotion, a great feeling. It's good to have a connection with somebody that you can say I love you to and things like that. Yeah, I want that in my life. I want a good girlfriend or wife, you know.
Love, oh God, that's a broad thing. It can be a wide range of things. I think love is something that you feel in your heart. It can be for an individual or for a thing or things. Just something that fulfills you inside, internally, as far as your mind and your heart. You know, because love can be, I guess, described in many ways, but to me, it's total fulfillment, total happiness and bliss with a person or things. You know, but to me, it would be for a person. You know, that brings you total fulfillment and contentment within yourself. You know, and allows you to be the person that you are, and accepts you for who you are and what you are. I hadn't had it until about just the past 2 years. So it's my girlfriend. So I've been able to get that before I do expire. So that's a nice thing.
A decision. Love is a decision. You can't. It's not a feeling. It may initially be a feeling, like you may initially feel something for someone,
But once you make that decision to either form a life, a marriage, children, a family, or whatever, feelings don't always enter into it anymore because you've made a commitment. So it's a decision day after year after year to stick through it when things get hard because you made a commitment, because you have children who depend on you, whose life you know will be better if you stay together. And what we're finding now is we're on the other side of that. He's our youngest, he's in college, and now we're reaping all of that. We stayed together through the hard stuff, and now we have a lot of fun together. You know, we're off on our own, you know, we're traveling, and it's like if we had not made that decision over and over and over again when we didn't want to, we wouldn't be here. And our kids wouldn't have the life they have either, so.
Like you said, I think it boils down to taking that emotional feeling and remembering it during those hard times and saying, I love this person, everything about them, and then I'm committed to making that love last, so I think it's more than just that emotional initial feeling that you have, that it is a decision. That's what drives love, I think.
Yeah, no, I think so many people miss that, and they just want that feeling. And we've been together 20, I don't know, we don't ever keep track, 22, 24 years.
21, so 22.
And, you don't feel it all for 22 years. That's just not realistic. But you just decide we're going to get through whatever it is. And then again, like I said, now we have a great time. We don't want them to come around. No kidding.
You have to keep choosing,
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yep.
Oh yeah, that's tough. Certainly the many different definitions, and there's different kinds of love. But I think at least one thing that comes to mind is, say, in a partnership, in a relationship such as a marriage, you make a promise to each other from the moment you decide to get engaged up to the actual marriage part. But part of the love comes from the idea that you will stick with each other as long as you can, as long as you live, and that's based on all sorts of hardships, and it will be through good moments and bad moments, and accepting each other with all the positive things about you and also all the negative ones. With me, there's certainly many, and my wife has always been supportive, and she's always been accepting, and she challenges me, and I think that's part of it too, right? Not being complacent with how you are, pushing others to become better versions of themselves.
Yeah, I have a less romantic view of love right now. I just got out of a relationship, so right now a lot of the love in my life that I've been experiencing is like support from like family and friends while I'm like getting through it. So I feel right now love for me has been a lot of just like being there for the people around you and like feeling people, even just like the random like text after a week, like, hey, how are you doing? Like, it means a lot for someone to be thinking about you and like how you're doing. So I feel like a lot of the love, at least the way I see love right now, is through like support and honestly time. I feel like you can buy people things and stuff like that's always easy, but like at the end of the day, time is always limited. So like people who give you time, like they're the ones who actually are gonna show up for you when it matters.
Something that is really hard to describe. It's just like a weird little feeling. It's just someone makes you feel special. You want to like be around them a lot. You're asking like, I just got out of like a breakup, so it's like we both just did. so yeah, it's definitely a very strong feeling.
Oh man, what is love? Baby, don't hurt me. Love is kind. Love is gentle. Yeah, that's it. That's all I'm gonna give. Yeah.
Love is the internalizing feeling that one has in connection with an event or a person. You asked about love. And if you could love a game or an event or a place, you could love a person. You could love a situation. Love is virtually endless in description within one's life?
Contentment, happiness, communication, deep feelings for someone.
What is love? Oh, to me, love is the people around you and the people you call close, and and how you treat them and how they treat you.
That's a really deep question. I think love is just commitment. Like, you have to be committed to each other. There's gonna be good times, there's gonna be bad, but you have to be willing to work it out with each other and to listen to what the other one has to say, and be willing to adapt your own viewpoints to fit with your partners, so that you can create one cohesive unit rather than two.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree, and probably a little bit of just giving up a little bit of who you are as yourself and maybe some of your goals to make it more of a cohesive goal for your family.
Yeah. Create something new out of two. I had to give up my career to follow him. He was transferred to Hong Kong, so I quit my job and followed him, and that was probably the best decision ever. I was an accountant, so it was really hard to let go and not be type A and worry about paychecks and things like that, and just give that up and go. And then we came back and we had kids, and I decided to stay home with them. So I gave up my career as a tax accountant.
Sometimes passing up job opportunities for the sake of your family.
Yeah, it might not be a good spot to raise a family, or you might not want to have children there, or your spouse might not want to move there.